Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel Tutor Things. Today in this video we are going to see the Angular app files, like what are that file related to and why we have those files in our Angular app. So all these are related to Angular files we are going to discuss in this video. So previously we have started Angular tutorials. As we know, we have completed definition of Angular and what is different between Angular JS and Angular TypeScript versus JavaScript, and also what is single page application. So how to create your first project in Angular, all the things we have covered in the previous parts to this Angular tutorial. So if you haven't watched those videos, go to my playlist. Angular playlist is there, so you can go through all those videos. So now in this video, so after creating your first project, you will get one structure, like so a structure of your Angular app on if you open that folder in any IDE, like for example, if you open that in a Visual Studio Code IDE, so the structure of Angular app will be there. So what are the files you can see, so what are the files related to, we are going to discuss now. So before getting started into this, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and click the bell icon so that you will never miss any update from us. So if you like this video, also give a big thumbs up below, and that will keep us motivating to do many more videos like this. And share these videos to your friends who don't know about what individual file exactly meant for. So let's get started. So in Angular application, if you see that if after creating any application, you will, if you open that folder in any IDE, you will get this type of structure. Here you can see in this image. So I have named on an Angular app, that is Angular front end. So whenever I open in this, you will get a structure like this. So I'm not opening it the first time. I have already built that application. So I got .angular and .vs code, those kind of folders also. So ignore those folders. Just think about the folders which I am discussing and files I am explaining. Just think of that. You can see this image so that you will find out where that particular file is present likewise. So firstly, if you can see the structure, there will be a node module structure. Whenever you are downloading the modules, so all these modules get stored in the node modules folder. One is created for there. In that particular folder, you can observe while creating your Angular application by giving ng-new. So this particular folder will come, all the packages, all dependencies, all these things will present in this node modules. Just ignore that part. We won't no need to do anything in that folder. Just consider application from source folder itself. So source folder is one of the first folder we have to know about. So this src folder which you can see in Angular app, this is the folder which contains the main code files related to your Angular application. Whatever the codes you are coding for the particular app, like customization codes which you are returning in Angular app, so all these things contains in this src folder itself. This is the main code files related to the Angular application. Next, in that src, you can see, if you open that src, you will have an app folder. So the first folder which is present in src is the app folder. This app folder contains the files you created for app component. So Angular application is itself is a collection of components, like so app folder is a folder which contains file related to app component files, like there will be 4 files for each and every component. So in this app component, you will have app component.css file and app.component.html file and app.component.spc.ts file and app component.ts file. So these are the 4 files which we present for each and every component. So same as here, app component will have these 4 files. Let's understand what an individual file refers to. So here .css file is nothing but which is have a cascading style sheet code of to your particular component. So whatever the stylings applied to that particular component will present in this file. So for each individual component, their styling files will be different likewise. So css is nothing but all the css styles, all the which you are applying to particular app component will present in this app.component.cs file, which you can see here. So here you can see in the second picture, you can see app.component.cs file. This is the app folder we have. I will tell you the basic thing which is present in app folder. I will come to other folders which you are seeing in the screen. So app component.cs file is the CS cascading codes for your app component. Next we have app component.html next to that CSS. So this file contains the HTML file related app component. So whatever the HTML file related content for that app component present in this file, this is the template file which is used by the Angular to do data binding. Whatever the data which you are coming from backend or in the JSON format can be binded into this view through this component.html. Okay, next we have app component.spc.ts. So what is this means? spc.ts, these type of files will be file extensions we can see in Angular application, which is used for testing purpose. This is a unit testing file related to app component. Particular component testing will be happen through this the code present in this ts file. So this file is used along with other unit tests also. So it will run from Angular CLI by the command ng test. Whenever you will give ng test, so this particular testing files will be invoked and done performed their operation. Next we have app component.ts. app.component.ts. This ts is extension is nothing but we are understanding that is a ts file, that is TypeScript file. Next is related to app component ts file. This is the most important TypeScript file which includes the view logic behind the component. Whatever the logic which we are building, that should present here. Like based upon that logic, the particular data will go to the HTML view and that will do the binding likewise. So instead more than these the 4 files in app component, we can also have app.module.ts. So you can see here it is present after ts file, app component.ts file, you can see app.module.ts. So what this app.module.ts means, this is also a TypeScript file which includes all the dependencies for the website. Like if there is any dependency for the website, so all this is present in here. Like this file is used to define the needed modules, whatever the modules which we are using in our application. So to define that, we use this app.module.ts. Next that components we are importing also we have to write here, like whatever the components, app component we have to mention there. So imported things we have to mention there. Next, components to be declared first, there we have to declare components, then only we can create. So whenever you are creating new component, you have to declare that thing in this app.module.ts. And also main component to be bootstrapped in Angular. One component is to be bootstrapped, that is the main component. Here app component is bootstrapped in most of the applications, so that nested components will come under that. So this is the app.module.ts. After that we will see one file, that is routing file. Here you can see app dash routing dash module.ts. So this is also a module.ts file which is called as app routing.module.ts. Here this file comes in some applications, in some applications you can't see, because you are selecting routing option while building an application, then this file will be present. If you are not selecting routing option while you creating an application, this file will not present. So whenever you are giving ng new and app name, that will ask you 2 questions. One is routing, you need routing in this file or not, and also css things or not. So when you give routing s, then this file will present. So in this file we will specify the routing paths, like based upon what routing path, which component you are calling. So likewise routing things can be done is this app routing module.ts file. So you can observe in app, when I open this app folder, you have all these things in the app folder. So helpers is nothing but interceptors. Likewise you can also include in this app component. If any interceptor should need, interceptor is nothing but adding any extra information to the http request, that thing can be done by the interceptors. So middle of that calls we can do http changes. Likewise next, services. So based upon token services or any other authentication service, all these things you can do by using like any customized operations you want to perform in application, it can be done at the app folder level. Okay, so next you can create not only app component, you can create many more components like a home component, login component, request, customized components also you can create. Creating component can be done in the 2 ways, either by giving it a command in the terminal, or any thing by giving ng command generate component. Likewise, or otherwise you can directly create a folder and you can name that according to that file extensions, then it will consider that as a component. Okay, so next after these components you can see services also. So service type of things also. So services will be two files will be generated if you create a service. So that will be .ts file, service.ts file, and service.spc.ts file. That is a testing for service and for logic for the service. This service create a connection between backend and front end. If it is another any C# application like web services, the connection for this application will be done at the level of services level. So this is all about the folders which are present in app. The components will be there in the app, and any extra services or any helpers or interceptors we can include in this app folder. So next, other than this app folder, in src folder we have two more folders. Those are assets and environments. So assets and environments are the two extra folders which are present in src thing. So let's understand what is this exactly means. Assets folder is the folder which is like a placeholder for the resource files which are used in the application, such as images or locally or translation. So any type of resources like images, videos or anything, we can save it in the assets so that we can refer in our application. This is the main use of assets. You can see here in assets, you can have here is a git keeper, one of the asset which we are using related to git version control. Okay, so any images type of assets which you are using in your application can store in this assets folder. Next we have environments folder. So environments folder is used to hold the environment configuration constants that help when we building an Angular application. When we are building an Angular application, we need some environment configurations, right? Whether it is a production environment or development environment, to decide that we should need some configurations like yes or no. So it is what type of configuration it is like this. This concept divided in two separate files will be there for this, that ts files are there. So one is environment.ts, you can observe here in the environment folder, environment.ts and environment prod.ts. Two kind of files here are present here. So why these two kind of files, what will they will do means, they what these for constants used with angular.json file. So angular.json file will refer to these constants based upon that constants availability or thing. For example, if you want to run the application in ng build command, so it will run generate a development environment build also, and also production build also, based upon this environment settings what we are setting there. So based upon the your requirement, you can set these constants in this folder, so that that will be retrieved by using angular json file, and according to that build will be happen. So this is all about environments folder. So in a source we have told like source folder is there, in that we have app folder, assets folder and environments folder. Discussed about app things and app components, what are the file present for each and the component, and routing thing, and module.ts to define modules and import things and all those things. So environment variables we have given, and assets is nothing but storing for resource kind of things. Let's see the extra files which are present other than src. So in the app we have this thing, and assets are there and environments are over. So after environment we have favicon.ioc. So what is this favicon.ioc? Let's see. So fav.icon is a normal kind of thing which specifies a small icon that appears next to the browser tab of your website. If you open website, that angular a will be there, so angular icon will be there. This specify the small icon that will appear on the top of your website. So this is the use of favicon particular file. So next we have, after favicon, you can see here index.html file is there. So index.html file is the entry file which holds the high level of container for your Angular application. In this index.html file only our application will start. This is the entry point of your application. In this file itself we are calling different components based upon the root name. So we have app root in this file. So based upon app root, app component will be called, and app component selector will be called. So based upon selector we are selecting that component. So app root will be called. In that app we are calling different other nested components. So entry point will be the index.html. As we discussed, a single page application, Angular is a single page application is nothing but single view will be there. Like view HTML page will be only one HTML page every time. So index.html is a one page wherever the components will change based upon routing things. So that is the use of SPA here. So index.html is the entry file which is have a high level container kind of things. So next we have main.ts. So what is this main.ts? Main.ts is defined in angular.json file. So this main.js file will run first. Like this file starts the bootstrap kind of things, the app module from the app module.ts, and it can be used as define variable configurations. So if you want to give any configurations in a global level, you can use this main.ts file, because the application will start running by this file only, like how main function will call for any console application, likewise like program. So like that our Angular application will start it run by using at the point called main.ts. So it will call the index view afterwards. Likewise in the view index.html will be displayed at the first entry level. While start running the application, this main.ts file will start. So if you want to define any global configurations, you can do at this file, at this level of file. So next we have, after main, we have this polyfills.ts. So what is this polyfills.ts means? This is a file which is used to set the code that is used to provide compatibility support for old browsers. So if you are using Angular 14 or latest versions like Angular 12 or 14, so it is written in some ECMAScript light, so ECMAScript specifications will be there in that, which is more adaptable front-end development, right? So we have that ECMAScript configurations for the written mainly in that TypeScripts. Okay, so not all browsers will support these type of specifications, which is advanced specifications which have in Angular 14 or 12. So likewise, so at that time what this polyfills does means Angular itself gives some coding codes for that, so that this negligible amount of features which are missing in your browser will be overcome by this polyfills. This polyfills used to cover whatever feature missing in the given browser. For example, if you are using Safari or Chrome or Opera, so some features will not present which is present in Angular, then this Angular polyfills will cover those features, and so that make this application run in any browser. So that's make this Angular compatible to all the browsers which doesn't have this specification which this Angular version is using. So this polyfills will do that particular kind of thing. So no need to do anything from our end, that will be defined automatically. So next we have styles.css. So this styles.css files is a global level CSS file, we can call it as. So if you want to mention each individual stylings for each individual component, you can do in .css file, in component.css file which are present for that particular component. If it's an app component, app.component.cs file. If it's a home component, home.app component.cs file. Unlike that, if you want to specify same type of css for both the components, you can use this styles.css. This is a global level css file used in this Angular application. So next, after that, we have test.cs. So test.cs, as we discussed, this is the main ts file, the test file that Angular CLI command ng test will run. This particular file will be invoked, like it is used to transfer all the unit tests within the application and make them run by using this test.cs. This is also a global level file which we can invoke by writing test cases for entire application level. So this is the test.ts. And next we have this browser kind of file, like we can see this browser list file. This is used by auto prefixer that adjusts the css to support a list of defined browsers. So based upon a browser definition, it will adjust that css kind of things. If it is not having perfectly, this will set those kind of things. And next we have a .editor config file. So what this .editor config file does means, this is a configuration kind of file, like it is a simple file which is used to maintain consistency in code editors, like to organize some basic things such as indentations and white spaces. To remove all those things and to manage that consistency, we use .editor config file. And after the .editor config, we have .git ignore. We also know that git ignore file is related to source control git version, like that. So if you want to ignore any file while you are giving git push, like those commands, we can write those files in git ignore, so that files will be got ignored while doing push commands into that git kind of operations. Next we have this angular.json. This is the most important thing we have to know about angular.json file. This is an important configuration file related to your Angular application, because it defines the structure of your app and includes all the settings related to your application, like whatever the things which you are using in your application, all these things will define in this .angular.js file. Here you can specify environments on the file, like development or production kind of things. This is a file where we use to add bootstrap file of thing to work with your Angular application. So if you want to add bootstrap things, you can add here, like scripts will be there, and styles, whatever the structure of your application you have to specify here in this angular.cs. Whenever I am explaining, you can open that file, you can see those files, so that you will understand what kind of things we are doing in that particular file. So next, we have after angular.js we have this karma.config.js file. This karma, whenever you can see that it is related to testing kind of thing, this specifies the config file for the karma test runner. Like karma has been developed by angular.js team, which can run for both angular.js and angular 2 plus also. So all the angular application will have this kind of testing runner, so we can use that for testing test cases likewise. And next we have package log.json. So why this before getting understand package.log.json, we should understand package.json. So next to that we have that file, you can see. So this is a npm configuration file. It includes details about your website dependency packages along with the details about your own package itself. So what are the packages you are downloading, dependencies you are downloading, all these things will be listed in this package.json file. If you want to override any one of the dependencies, you can modify that thing in the package log.json. So this package log.json is auto generated and can be modified, that file that says updated whenever your npm does an operation. So if you are creating npm operation, like creating any component or anything, this will be modified. So this can be modified modules or package.json. If you modify that file also, this will automatically gets updated. So this is a package log.json. It will automatically update if you change any npm commands, operations, or node modules or package.json. This will update. That is the use of package log.json. Next we have package.json is also completed. Next, readme is the file which we know with some understand human readable language. If you want to write any key points, you can write in the readme, so that will help after giving any push and git commands. So next we have the three kind of files, that is ts configurated files, tsconfig.app.json, tsconfig.json, tsconfig.spc.json. Whenever the file having .spc version, you can understand that is a test related file. So let's see about a tsconfig.json first, so that you will understand other two things. So there, tsconfig.json is a TypeScript compiler configuration file. Like any configuration related to compile things like TypeScript compiler, you can write in this file. So next, app config tsconfig.app.json is used to override the tsconfig files with the specific app specific configurations. This is a normal level of compiler level configurations will present in tsconfig.json. If you want to override that things with the specific app specific configurations, you can override that in the tsapp.json file. I think you can understand that thing. And next, tsconfig.specific json file is that this overrides the tsconfig file with the app specific unit test configuration. If you want to add any unit test configuration, so that you can add in this file, so that will override the general configurations. So like this we can override by using app.json, specific.json testing kind of things. So I think you will understand all the folders why these are present, and if you want to change any part in which file you have to change. So all these things you got clarity, right? So before getting started creating application, you should understand what is the file structure, right? So that's why I have explained these things by taking one more video related to this. So first, create your application by using you can use my video like create your first application in Angular. So first watch this video, and next later create that video by installing all the packages. So next, before starting any building any component or running that, understand what individual file is doing, which file is invoking first, and which file is calling which component, what are the selectors, how we are selecting, so which is invoking at what place. So understanding these things is quite necessary before getting started. So that's all for this video. If you have any doubts related to any component, you can feel free to comment in the comment section. We will definitely reply to your comments. And if you want a video on any other concepts also, you can feel free to comment in the comment section. So we will definitely make a video on that particular point related to Angular. So in upcoming videos, you can expect more videos related to Angular projects and related kind of things. So stay tuned to our videos, and subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon, so that you will get updates like what are the next videos likewise. So that's all for this video. Share this video to your friends and colleagues who don't know about these folders and file kind of things. So that will definitely help them to know a better, to get a clear picture about these components. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.